Right, Shalom, it's your brother Shamar from the Phoenix camp. With that being said, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QUADASH. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutation to the brothers that are doing this work in true sincerity, man. And real quick, I'm going to jump into the lesson. Since Proverbs 1 and 10, it says, My son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. So to establish that right there, man, that's pretty much giving you an admonition that you gotta refrain yourself from the people of this world, man. And that's throughout all the scriptures. The scripture says that we're not supposed to partake in the things of the world or even associate ourselves with certain people of the world, man. Because they're in a totally different vibration, a totally different spirit than ours, man. Because our vibration, our spirit is heavily into this truth. It's heavily into the light, and the light can't dwell with the darkness, man. So we're in a different spirit than the rest of the world, man. We have that light, man. I'm gonna get Luke 11:34. It says the light of the body is in the eye. Therefore, when that eye is single, thy whole body is also full of light. When that eye is evil, thy body is also full of darkness. So when you're in that light, man, that's what you gotta be continually about. If you can't mingle in the darkness and then go back and mingle in the light, man, or mingle in this and being a spiritual man and try to be a carnal man in the world to appease the people of the world. It says verse 35 says, Take heed therefore that the light which is in thee be not darkness. If thy whole body therefore be full of light, having no part dark, the whole shall be full of light. When the bright shining of a candle does give thee light, man. So it's either one or the other, man, according to the scriptures. Always making that distinction, always making that selection between the wicked and the righteous, between those that are in the spirit, worshiping the Most High in spirit and truth, and those that are not, man. And so in that vein, we're not supposed to be associating ourselves heavily with the people of this world. I mean, yeah, we have to deal with them in order to function, but even that's gonna be impossible to do in the days that are come. Because they're gonna make a distinction between those that follow the so-called program, starting with these vaccinations and ultimately the mark of the beast, and those that don't want to adhere to it, and the men that are not going to want to adhere to that program, or majority of them want to be men of the Lord, because they rather obey God than men. I'm gonna get that scripture. So just like in the ancient days, man, they were persecuted for standing up for this truth. And the men of the Lord in this day and age, we're going to be persecuted for standing up in this truth, for teaching this truth, and proclaiming the truth that we proclaim out there in the highways and hedges. And also proclaiming on it, we're going to be given the task to act upon that belief, to act upon what we teach when those vaccinations come, and when that mark of the beast comes, and all these other things come down the line. This Revelation 12 comes upon the men of the Lord, man. You're going to have to, with action, pronounce your faith, man. Your faith is going to be put into action, and you're going to be given a choice to obey God or to obey the Most High, or to obey man. Because He's going to put those decrees on you that you need to take these vaccinations, you need to take this microchip, you need to adhere to the rules of society, and He got us doing that on a low key level right now, which is making people wear masks and social distancing and the 6-foot rule and this, that, the other, man. So he's putting that spirit of obedience in you, man. This is Acts 5:28. It says, Saying, Did not we straightly command you that ye should not teach it in this name? And behold, ye have filled Jerusalem with your doctrine and intent to bring this man blood upon us. This is the key what I'm trying to get right here. Verse 29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, We ought to obey God. We ought to obey the Most Salaki. We ought to obey the Most High rather than men. So that's the time that we're coming to, man. We're coming to that time where that spirit's going to have to be in you. So it's best to not associate yourself with the things of this world. And that's spoken about in the book of Psalms. Let's get that real quick. Psalms 1:1. It says, Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, man. And that's talking about, the ways and fashions of this world and the decree that He's going to be put upon the men of the Lord. that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. So yeah, because he's going to give you counsel. He's going to say you need to take this vaccination, or you're not going to be part of society. And I read a recent article saying that vaccination is intended to be every year. It's not going to be a vac. So there's not going to be no choice, man. There's not going to be no slipping under the radar. Either you're going to be identified as one that takes that vaccination or not. These are the times that we're coming into, man. I'm going to keep on reading. It says, blessed is the man that walks not in the counsel of the godly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. And like we did, like I mentioned in the previous lesson, it all goes back to our trust in His Word. But His delight is in the law of the Most High, the Word, and His law does He meditate day and night. So there it is, man. That's going to be your strength in that day. This Word. That's why it's important for us to be heavily into the Word, man. Heavily about this Word. So I'm going to get Ephesians 5 and 11. It's a real quick lesson. Salah. This is Ephesians 5 and 11. It says, have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. So our association with the people of the world, at the very least, at the very most, should be minimal. You can't hang around with a homie from back in the day like you used to, because most likely he's into some wicked shit, man. Hey, the only other people that we can really associate or be ourselves with his other brothers, man. And that's why one of the reasons that fellowship is very important, man. It says, the scripture says, forsake not to assemble yourself together. I'm gonna get that scripture. It's Hebrews 10:24. It says, let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works. And that's why you got to be around brothers, man. That's why you got to be in constant contact and communication around brothers, because you're going to be encouraged and you're going to be edified to continue in His work and be strong in the spirit, man. When you talk to a brother, man, that lights your fire. That pumps you up, man. That because why? Well, one of the main reasons is because when you conversing with a brother, you talking spiritual talk, man. Whether it be over the phone, your spirits are vibing, man. Your spirits are being about this truth. And what does Scripture say? Wherever two or more are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of them, man. So when you having a spiritual conversation with the brother, the spirit of YAHAWASHI is right there with you, man. And that's why when you get off the phone from talking to that brother, you're always feeling spiritually recharged, man, spiritually lifted. But anyways, I'm gonna get the scripture right here. This is Salah. This is Hebrews 10 and 24. So let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much more as you see the day approaching. That's why fellowship among the brotherhood is very important, man. It's as important as doing this work, as pushing the videos, to get that bond with the brotherhood, man. That's why that communication, that fellowship, the breaking bread among the brothers is an important aspect of this truth, man. It's not to be diminished. It's not to be taken lightly, man. That's why Scripture says right there, and read it back again, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much more as you see the day approaching. And we definitely see that day approaching, man. Instead, I'm going to get Exodus 23 and 2. It talks about, the mentality that we're supposed to have with in dealing with the people of this world, man. This is Slakia. This is Exodus 23 and 2, and it says, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, you shalt not speak in a cause, decline after many to rest judgment. But so the main point that I want to get right there was, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil. So so there's got to be a separate mentality against the world, man. We're not here to do the things the world does, or partake in the things the world partakes in, man. We're on a completely totally different spirit, man, because the world, they all about their own comfort, their own interest, their own will. And y'all know it's no free will, but that's the spirit that YAHAWASHI put in them, man, to be that selfish, wicked spirit on them, man, where they only caring about the things of themselves, because that's why they're the 2/3. This is Romans is it 11:18? I can't remember. No, that ain't it. Slack. Yeah, Romans 6 and 17 says, now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause division and offenses contrary to the doctrine. You have learned to avoid them, man. So those men that not believing the same doctrine that you believe in, they believe in so-called Jesus Christ, Caesar Borgia. They believe in hell and all this other bullshit. They believe in the doctrine that vocab Malone pushes, that Plantations Christianity pushes. We're supposed to avoid those people, man. We're not supposed to partake in any type of fellowship with them, man. Like I said, you gotta deal with them to a certain degree. Like you got family members that are down to this truth and they understand that plantation Christianity. You still gotta deal with them. It could be your mother, your father, whatever. You still gotta honor them and you gotta be wise as a serpent. Scripture says, man, harmless as a dove. We're sent out as sheep among the midst of wolves. But for the most part, other than that, man, you got to deal with people in a certain way, man, and if at all times it's best if you have the option to avoid those people altogether, and that's usually your best option, man. Is it gonna make you unpopular? Yes, it will. You're gonna be alone. You're gonna be by yourself the majority of the time, man. Speaking to your brother earlier, the majority of the time you're gonna be by yourself in this truth. When you're not with brothers or doing the work or fellowshipping, you're by yourself, man. That's what it is. Because we don't deal with the people of the world. I'm gonna read that back again. It says, now I beseech you, brother, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to doctrine, where ye have learned and avoid them. For they that are such serve not our power, Meshach YAHAWASHI, it's like our Lord Meshach YAHAWASHI, but their own belly. So that's what they're about, man. Their own comfort, their own will, their own interest, their own self-preservation. But we're not in that spirit of self-preservation, man. We're in that spirit of Romans 12:1. We're giving our body as a reasonable sacrifice, our lives as a reasonable sacrifice. And by good words and fair speech, to deceive the hearts of the simple. And that's what it is. So there's got to be a separation in your mind. You gotta tell yourself that you can't associate or be around certain people. I'm gonna get Proverbs 4 and 14. Real quick lesson, couple more scriptures, I'll close it out. It's Proverbs 4 and Salakia 14 says, enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not into the way of evil men. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. So there you go, man. The scripture telling you, hey, avoid those people, avoid those situations, avoid those places where you know that there's no truth there. There's just the wickedness and worldly carnalism there, man. Those situations need to be avoided. Hey, certain music needs to be avoided. Certain things, media needs to be avoided. And when you gotta go in the spirit and you gotta be able to learn to make that distinction, And read that back, get it, Proverbs 4 and 14. So enter not to the path of the wicked, and go not the way of evil men. Avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away, man. So there it is. The scripture plainly tell us of how we're supposed to act in accordance to the things around us, in accordance to the world around us, man. With that, I'm gonna get Proverbs 12 and 11. And it says, he that tilleth his, that ain't it, Salak. Yeah, Salak, that was it, man. It says, he that tills the land should be satisfied with bread, but he that follows vain persons is void of understanding, man. And those vain persons are going to be people in the world. So we don't care about celebrities and rappers and this, that, the other. Those vain persons, we don't follow them, man. We don't adhere to their program. That's what Jake does, man. He follows people on social media. He follows, people that are about bullshit on social media. And he follows his favorite rapper, his favorite athlete, his favorite whatever social media personality, man. But we're not supposed to do that, man, because the scripture is that he that follows vain persons is void of understanding, man. So the distinction is made quite clear in the scriptures, how we to deal with this world, and for the most part we're not supposed to really deal with it. And when we do deal with it, we're supposed to be wise about it. Wise was our dealing with it. We gotta have a big circumspect in our dealing with this world, man. And that was just a real quick lesson. Both sides put in the hope it was edifying. We give all honor, glory, and praise. YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. Ka halal, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. Brothers, keep on pushing. Shalom.